Hey everyone, it's your boy Chris, aka Berard Media, coming back to you with another video. As you'll see, a little bit different under the engine bay right now. And you'll see I've got some lines running that I have not actually hooked up to anything yet. As you can see, this is just a plain line and it is not hooked up, but this is actually going to be my sending line for my fuel system. You'll see down there, I've got the Autosport Engineering fuel pump hanger, and underneath that is a Walboro 525 Hellcat pump. You'll see I've got my return line run. I had a little bit of trouble fitting it in here, so I ran this as a 180 degree, and this one is a 90 degree for the feed. And I've got those under the car running all the way back up here. You'll see I've got my fuel pressure regulator hooked up right here off the strut tower. I just found this to be the best spot to put it. I may change it if I run into issues later, but I've got my return line. Well, I've got my feed line for the pressure regulator that goes through here and then up to the fuel rail that I've got, and I've got my return line going back down to the pump. And you'll see I'm not going to be running a stock fuel rail. I have a Swift Racing fuel rail that I'll be running, and I'll show you kind of what's going on. So this is my Swift Racing fuel rail. You'll see I've got some fittings here that are 45 degree angle, I believe. So when this sits on there, which I can't seem to get it down in there right now, those will point down, and my sending line for my pressure regulator runs right into here and then back up. But I am running into a little bit of a problem because I'm running 8AN line for the send line. I cannot seem to get a fitting to fit on here because this is actually a 6AN port. And so I had to get a 6AN to 8AN adapter and then try and put the 8AN fitting on top of that, but it is not fitting. It's not clearing right here with the intake runner. So I've got some parts on order to hopefully resolve that. And mainly right now, my fuel system has been my biggest holdup because I'll order a part, put it on, test fit it. It'll work, but then I'll have a problem somewhere else. And I'll show you a good example of that. So one of the things I've been really stuck on, I've got these ID1000s. First off, I had trouble getting these to fit in the runner. Because without this little adapter right here, this is actually a drift motion intake boss. So that pops down in there like so. So the problem I've been running into with the Swift Racing rail, you'll see here, I've got the mounts to go on the rail. And then of course, this would sit down in there. But my problem is at its lowest position, if I can get that to stay on, I do not have room to go up into the rail, so it just doesn't fit. So to resolve that, I've ordered some top hat adapters that should hopefully increase the height on this and allow the rail to sit on it fine, make sure everything seals up good, and we should be good to rock and roll on the injectors at least. Other than that, this is kind of how it's sitting right now. You'll see I actually painted the turbo housing, and we're going to probably do some cool designs like that along with the engine covers. They see they're not here anymore. I have my fiance designing some stuff for them. The turbo blanket came in. We'll see how good this holds up. It is kind of an Amazon special, but I did go for a higher end one that had a lot of good reviews, so hopefully that holds up pretty good. You'll see I also spray painted both sides of the engine bay. I took off as much as I could on both sides, went ahead and sanded everything down, and went ahead and shot it with some gloss black just to clean it up because the engine bay was kind of scratched up and had a lot of grime and stuff on it for a 20-year-old car. And I really just wanted to clean that up, so I really do like how this looks now. You'll see it does look a lot cleaner on both sides, and I'm definitely ready to get all this stuff back together. Being without this car driving it is kind of annoying, and I'd rather get this thing done as soon as possible so I can actually enjoy it. So back here, I've got the battery set up. You'll see I've got my line running back with the fuse on it. So all I need to do when I want to hook up the power is put that on there and twist that down. See, I've also got my 210s in the back. We'll probably get an amp and hook that up. I'm really not worried about the sound system until I get the car running and driving and make sure the tune's good. Because what point is listening to music if I can't drive it, honestly? You'll see I've got my engine management stuff right here. Haven't really touched that yet. So I've kind of just been at a standstill with this car, waiting on parts to come. I'll get a little bit of work done, and then I'll get held up by, a missing part here and there. But I do want to show you something cool that I did just in the meantime while I'm waiting on parts. So if I hook the battery up right here, you'll see that the car actually does have power. If I turn the key on and then turn the lights on, I have switched my gauges over to white LEDs, and I think it looks really good. The only reason I really did this is because the factory orange bulbs were starting to blow out, and I had a really dim spot right around here, and I believe somewhere right around there. So I went ahead and changed that out for LEDs. And I also did this side, although the kit I had a couple of dead bulbs, so I don't know if I would recommend them, but overall the gauges look great. But I definitely need to fix these areas right here, because they are definitely not bright. But this looks pretty good. I feel like it's a little too bright. Definitely you can see there's some bright spots and then some dim spots here. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but this looks great. I'm very happy with that. So that pretty much sums it up, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna try and stay on top of content as far as uploading and recording. Mainly I've just been fighting to get parts in right now. So once parts start coming in and I get more done, I'll definitely start uploading more. Thanks, and stay tuned.